very warm welcome to all the viewers. The topic that we are going to discuss today is groups and teams. The key points that we are going to discuss in this particular session is the concept of groups, stages of group, development, and concept of team. Now, it is very important that we discuss about groups and teams. Even in day-to-day life, when we talk about these two terms, they really play an important role. There are various activities which are quite complex in nature and they cannot be carried out by a single individual. And to carry out such activities in a proper manner, in an effective manner, we require groups or require teams. Similarly, in organizational setup also, we have various complex activities, various complex issues that are to be dealt with the help of groups and teams. And that is what we are going to discuss today. Further, we also have to remember that any individual is not like an island. We are interdependent. We are dependent on each other. And that is the reason why, again, when we carry out different activities, we might need help from other individuals and for which groups and teams are definitely required. Let us start with trying to understand what a group is with the help of definition of groups. According to Fanham in 2005, a group is made up of persons more than two, which is a dyad. When there are two people, we refer to that as a dyad. And when there are more than two people, then we can call them as a group. And these people, these individuals, they communicate regularly, they share goals and interact with each other over a period of time. And they also build effective bonds. Yet another definition was given by Johns, who defined group as two or more people interacting interdependently to achieve a common goal. Group can also be defined as two or more people with common interests, objectives, and continuing interaction. This definition was given by Quick, Nelson, and Khandelwal in 2013. Hersey and others in 1998 explained that a group is two or more individuals interacting in which the existence of all, that is the existence of the group as a group, is necessary for the needs of the individual group members to be satisfied. So we looked at the four definitions of groups, and there are certain common elements that you must have noticed in these definitions. Let us highlight these common elements. A group is considered as constituting two or more individuals. So we have to remember that, there could be either two. Of course, two is often referred to as dyad, but then definitely there are more than two individuals. A group will also have common objectives, interests, and goals, that the group members together are supposed to achieve. The members of the group also have to work in tandem with each other, that they have to work in coordination, in communication with each other. And lastly, the group members are interdependent, and in order to effectively achieve the common goal, that is been set for them, or that they have set for themselves, they again have to work in coordination, in tandem, in communication with each other. So these are some of the elements you can say that the various definitions of groups that we discussed that they have in common. Groups can also be categorized into formal groups and informal groups. As far as formal groups are concerned, these are the groups that are created by the organization in a conscious effort in order to promote achievement of organizational goals and purposes. Thus, there could be a group of employees who are working on a certain project in an organization under a particular manager. So these are basically in a conscious manner, in an organization, a group is created with a certain objective. Okay, and this formal groups can also be categorized into task force and committees. Task force can be described as groups that are temporary in nature and are mainly established in order to carry out certain tasks, as the name suggests, and of course to achieve the common purpose that is been assigned. Committees, on the other hand, when compared to tasks, these are more permanent in nature and mainly involve certain assignments that may not be part of the work group structure that are usual. On the other hand, there is the other category that is informal groups. Now, often what happens in organization, we always focus on the formal groups, but then we also need to focus on the informal groups. And these are the groups that are not deliberately created by an organization, but they just happen to be created, when people, the employees, they interact with each other, they could create informal groups. There are various types of informal groups as well. That is, for example, there are interest groups where the employees come together in demand for certain facilities because they have a common interest. There could be friendship groups where, the members share certain common or similar views, preferences, and opinions. And there could also be recreational groups, like, for example, employees could be involved in playing table tennis for recreation purpose. So whether formal groups or informal groups in an organization, we need to focus on both these. Let us now look at what are the various stages of group development. There have been 5 stages of group development, or rather, there are 5 stages that have been proposed by Bruce Struckman. The very first stage in this is forming. As the name suggests, the group actually is formed over here. And that is the reason why this is the initial or the very first stage. And during this stage, there is some agreement amongst the members, but definitely there is going to be ambiguity. There is going to be a lack of clarity, mainly with regard to what is the purpose of the group. Also, what are the roles that each and every member is expected to play. Definitely at this stage, a lot of guidance and direction is required, okay, to be provided to the group members so that they are able to effectively perform or achieve the group goal. The leader will definitely play an important role over here because he or she is the one who is going to bring about a clarity, not only with regard to purpose of the group, but also the role that each and every member is expected to play. The next stage is storming. And mainly, the main characteristic of this stage is conflict. There could be power struggles. There are also cliques and factions that get established as the group members interact with each other. Probably they could take sides, or two members probably are going to go along better than other members, and so on. Some clarity in terms of purpose of the group is definitely there over here, but then still there could be uncertainties. Each member, in a way, is assessed by the other in terms of trustworthiness, comfort, and acceptance. The leader over here will play an important role in coaching the group members. Let us look at the next stage, that is norming. In norming, the group will now develop some kind of clarity in terms of roles and responsibilities of the group members. There is also increased agreement and consensus amongst the group members. There is the focus is also on decision making process, and the task achievement is also highlighted. The leader over here will again play an important role as a facilitator. The next stage, that is the fourth stage, that is performing. And as the name suggests, over here, the group now is actually supposed to perform. So there is a clear vision, there is a clarity on purpose of the group. The focus is now on achievement of the group goal and decision making. Though there could also be disagreements, but then throughout the stages of the group development, the members have been interacting with each other, so they know each other quite well. So they are able to deal with the disagreements. The group also gains maturity, and that again will contribute to the effective performance of the group. The leader over here again will play a role as a delegator. He will delegate the work, he or she will delegate the work to the group members, and is also going to oversee the functioning of the overall group. The last stage, that is adjourning. So now, this is the very last stage where the group has now, fulfilled the purpose that was given to it. So the task is accomplished, and now the group is can be adjourned, or group can now be split. The group members may display a good feeling and sense of achievement as the group goal is achieved, and leader over here will play an important role in recognizing the contributions of the group members. That is again very important. So this is as far as the various stages of group development is concerned. That is we dealt with the first stage, that is forming, then we have storming, then we have norming, then we have performing, and lastly there is adjourning. Let us now look at the yet another important term that we have mentioned earlier, that is teams. Teams can be explained in terms of groups that are more matured and have interdependence amongst the members that is higher in degree. The teams also work in direction of achieving team goals, and Moorhead and Griffin, they describe team as a small group of individuals who possess complementary skills and have a common purpose, goals, and approach or strategy for which they can be held accountable as a team. Team, can also be described as a group whose individual effort result in a performance that is greater than some of those individual inputs. A group of individuals who see themselves and who are seen by others as a social entity can also be referred to as a team. So basically, team, you can say, is a group. They do have a common goal. There is cumulative effort, there is sharing of responsibility, and as there is sharing of rewards as well, to mention team in short. Some of the main elements of team is that the goal has to be clear and specific. Also, there has to be a lot of planning, coordination. There also needs to be effective communication between the team members. The role of each team member has to be clear and there should be no role ambiguity. The leader also is going to play an important role in this. There is also interdependence, as we talked about in group, and the knowledge and skills that that are displayed by the team members, they have to be complementary in nature. Size of the team also will play an extremely important role, and the ideal size of the team should be between 4 to 12, so that it is effective to manage. At the same time, the site should be big enough, uh, so that the issue or the activity that is to be carried out is effectively carried out. Many times the question that can pop in your mind is that what is how teams and groups are different. Definitely they are similar, and many times they are also interchangeably used, but then definitely there is a difference between groups and teams. Groups are often larger in size when compared to teams. Also, teams are groups that are more mature in nature. Group members are comparatively less interdependent when compared to team members. So, team as such is more cohesive, or the team members are more kind of close to each other compared to when we talk about groups. The team members also, display a higher sense of common purpose, and the accountability amongst the team members is also higher, when compared to groups. There are various types of teams as well. When we talked about group, we categorized it into formal and informal groups. So there are various types of teams as well. Like the one type is problem solving teams. Now, problem solving teams could be like between 5 to 12 employees or team members, and they are often from same department. They could meet for few hours every week, and then mainly the focus is on solving a certain problem. It could be a problem that and the organization is facing regard to something, and then team is created to basically solve that particular problem. There are also self-managing teams which are self-directed and self-reliant, and they are also called as autonomous work groups. These teams are given responsibilities for a task area, and there might not be day-to-day supervision, but an authority to influence and control both the group members and behavior definitely could be there. There are also cross-functional teams that can also be referred to as horizontal teams, and these are group of employees from about the same hierarchical level, but from different work areas, and these are mainly created to deal with specific problems. And basically, this such a team is dissolved when the task is completed or problem is solved. Besides the above, the other types of teams could be formal team, a team created by an organization as a part of formal organizational structure, as in formal groups. There are also vertical teams, which consist of a manager and his subordinates in formal chain of command. And there could be virtual team. Now due to COVID-19 situation, that we have been doing a lot of virtual meetings. So there are virtual teams also, where teams that uses computer technology, so that geographically distant members can collaborate on projects and reach common goals. So these are the various types of teams. Now let us look at what are the various team related activities. The very foremost activity that a team can be used for is advice. It could be advice to the management or advice to a particular department. So such teams are constituted so as to identify and understand an issue or a problem and provide suitable advice. Teams can also be used for, or rather, one of the activities that will be carried out by a team is innovation, where there is brainstorming and systematic discussion to come up with innovative ideas and strategies. Promoting is yet another activity, team activity, and promotional activities that could be, basically carried out to promote certain product or strategy. Development team can also be used for development, that is developing a new product or developing a new strategy. Team can also play a role in organizing, where events can be organized with the help of teams, or programs can be organized. Team one another Yet another activity of team is also production, where production related activities are involved. Inspection, evaluation, and analysis can also be a team activity, where a certain issue is inspected or evaluated and so on. Maintaining a positive environment can also be one of the activities that is provided to your team, or team can be created to maintain high morale, or to maintain motivation amongst employees and so on. Linking is yet another team activity, and linking different groups in an organization, thus bridging the gap between varied groups in an organizational setup in order to enhance communication and interpersonal relationship can be carried out. Teams can also help in dealing with complex issues and problems, though care needs to be taken while building the teams together. Let us now look at some of the potential team problems. There could be problems in team because of changing composition, like for example, members have been transferred or members have been changed or new members have been added where the composition of the team changes and there could be issues. Interpersonal relationship amongst the members can also cause a problem, and basically, these could also be applicable to group. Problems could also arise due to communication barriers. Problems could be due to social loafing as well, where few members are not contributing the way they need to contribute. Inappropriate leadership style or ineffective leader can also lead to issues in activities or rather the functioning of the team. If the team size is very huge, that can also create a problem. If there is no proper organization in the team, that also can have a problem. Role ambiguity is yet another problem that can occur in a team. Lack of trust, domination by one or more member can also disturb the team environment and can interfere with the team's goal directed behavior. Lack of motivation amongst the members can also be an issue. Lack of compatibility or conflict amongst the group members also need to be taken care of for effective functioning of the team. There could also be lack of consensus among the group members, which can lead to lack of decision making by the team, which again can have an impact on goal directed behavior of the team. There could also be negative climate or anti-team culture in the team. Disagreement over team's purpose and task can also be a hindrance. Large influx of new members can also create a problem. Low degree of team morale or team cohesiveness can also interfere with the functioning of the team. Resistance to change, confusion, disagreement about the roles of the team can also create an issue. Bad decision making and bad policies also interfere with the team functioning. Ill-conceived reward system is yet another reason besides insufficient information and feedback. So whenever a team is created, these are some of the issues and problems that we need to focus on. To summarize what we have dealt with in this particular session, we mainly focused on groups and teams, and we started with discussing what is a group. We looked at what various definitions of the groups, and we also highlighted some of the common elements in this, the definitions. We also discussed about the formal and informal group, and then later on we spoke about the stages of group development, where we touched upon the 5 stages as given by Bruce Struckman, namely forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. We then focused on teams. We discussed about what is a team, and then we also focused on what are the main elements of the team. We then discussed about the difference between groups and teams, where we said that group is comparatively larger in size. Their teams are more mature compared to a group. In group, the members are less interdependent when compared to a team. We also said that in teams, the sense of common purpose is quite high. The cohesiveness is very high, and also the accountability among the team members is also quite higher. We also focused on the types of teams, where we discussed about problem solving teams, we discussed about the self-managing teams, the cross-functional teams, and we also spoke about formal team, vertical team, and virtual team. Later, we also focused on various team activities, including advice, innovation, promoting, development, organizing, production, inspection, maintaining, linking, and so on. Lastly, we also discussed about what are the various potential team problems. Thank you so much.